Hey guys, welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So welcome back to Meatloaf number 72, and got a big, the mailman was really busy around here this last week. I got a bunch of packages in and some really cool stuff. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of some of the things that are in there. We've got, we're going to test another glue, kind of similar to the Crystal Bond 509. This was suggested by a viewer, so I went ahead and got some, and we're going to try that out and see how that works. And speaking of that particular glue, I sent some samples to a couple of guys that contacted me via email, and they had an application for it. So I sawed off a little piece of the Crystal Bond and I mailed it to them. So one of them sent me back some really interesting stuff from his the kinds of parts that he works on. So we're going to take a look at that. So there's some really cool stuff in there. And then I got a little antique cast iron piece that we're going to repair. So I don't know, it's a fun-filled episode. So let's get cracking. Okay, so this is this week's viewer appreciation pile here. Actually, a whole bunch of stuff came in. Some of it came in late in the or early in the week, I should say, and I didn't get a chance to film it in the last Meatloaf episode. I'm going to bring you guys in closer and we can look at all these things. But we got some really interesting stuff here, so we're going to go through it. We've got some Electroforms here. We've got quite the antique hammer there. We're going to be doing a little book review. Although I'm just going to show you the book. I'm not going to review it in this episode. I haven't read it yet myself, so I'm going to read that, and we'll take a look at that. I got a little postcard from Southern California buddy. That's kind of cool. And got some stickers. Got some excellent caramels from a viewer. And then another YouTube creator sent me a little pile of goodies there. I sent him something, and he kindly reciprocated and sent me some stuff back too. So, okay. So I'm going to clear some of this stuff out of the way. We'll come in closer and we'll kind of look at the things one at a time, and you guys can get a close-up look at some of this cool stuff. There's some really interesting things here. So let's do that. Okay, so let's do some of the mail first. I don't know. Let's start at this end here. We've got, this is from Dave Van Natta, and he's in Iowa, and he sent me a nice letter. And he was in the Navy. His history is he was in the Navy 72 to 75, so that's kind of Vietnam era. And he wanted to get into machine work, but he was really good at math, so they put him in navigation. So he met a gunsmith on the same ship, and he built his first custom rifle. So anyway, so he's been collecting tools for years, and he likes the videos. And anyway, so he's a gun enthusiast, and he sent me a couple of neat stickers here. And these are, you know, I can't really peel them and show them to you, but hopefully you guys can see that. And it's kind of got the Bill of Rights and the background, and then says the Second Amendment, America's original homeland security, and it's National Rifle Association. So if you guys are gun enthusiasts out there, and you want to support the right to bear arms, to join the NRA, and they are a huge lobby that helps allow us to have all this neat stuff that we have. So anyway, Dave, thank you very much. He sent me a couple of these. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to display them yet, but I'll figure something out. These are kind of cool. And he also said, hey, listen, if there's guys out there that want one of their own, and they can get them from Pilot Rock Signs, and let's see if we get up a little close there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I'll put a link on the screen too. So if you guys want one of these stickers, this guy's all set up to do them. And that's Danny Holton. Yeah, anyway, they're all set up to do that. Okay, so Dave, thank you very much. That's a nice little gift there. Appreciate that. All right, so let's pop over to the next one here. Now, we got Peter Koch, and he's in Arizona. Now, Peter's probably going, hey, what happened to the rest of those? He sent me a box of caramels, and they're absolutely wonderful. And I had to hide them away, and I dole them out one at a time to myself. Now that you know, I'm watching all that stuff very carefully. Anyway, he liked the Easy Out episodes, which was, you know, that was a pretty popular set of videos, and so he sent me some snacks to enjoy in the shop. So Peter, thank you very much. That's great. My wife loves these too, and she's got them stashed in the kitchen, and she doles one out to me every once in a while. So thank you very much for that. Nice little gift. Food is always a fun gift. So okay, so this next one. This is just a cool postcard here, and this is from a viewer in Southern California, Bill De La Vega. And Bill and I talk on email pretty regularly, and he's boring he's got this, he has a Kawasaki cylinder for inline 4, and he's boring the cylinders for the next oversize, I believe. Anyway, he's doing it on a regular mill, and with a brazed carbide boring bar that he made up himself. So anyway, his little tool was wearing down too much, so I sent him a couple of tool bits to keep him going. Anyway, he sent me this. This is cool. This is kind of 60s era. It looks, I believe that's an Atlas. I'm not positive, but this is a Cape Canaveral Launch Complex 14, and these are probably liquid oxygen trucks there, and yeah, that's probably the fuel. It's behind a bunker wall there, so really good place for it. So anyway, it's kind of a cool postcard. I'll stick it up on the bulletin board. Bill, thank you very much, and good luck, best of luck to you with your cylinder boring. So let me know if how that goes. Send me some pictures, okay? Bill, thanks a lot. Okay, so this next little pile of goodies here comes to us from Dan Cooper, and Dan has a YouTube channel that he's building up, and he does a little bit of gunsmithing and machine work. And anyway, I sent him some. I saw he had machined this nice little brass part, and then he stuck it in his. He had a little bench vise he was working on it with, and he had these steel jaws in his bench vise, and I was like, you know, and I've done that many times myself, and you know, regretted it. So I sent him some copper bars so he could make some. So he can make some soft jaws for his bench vise. Anyway, Dan put together a little package of stuff here and shot it out to me, and so let's go through it real quick here. Some neat stuff. We got some abrasive roll here, and this is always handy here. This is a good width, 1 inch, and what is this, 120? Yeah, 120. That's a good grit too. Always good to have. We got some parallel clamps here, and these got some initials LRL on them. So I suspect what these might be here is a school project. So this was actually a pretty common school project. But what's cool is there's some remains of this patinizing or cyaniding or whatever it is, this coloration that they do. You see this on antique firearms and tools and things like that. So there's a little bit of it left. And if I had to, boy, that might be, Yeah, I'm looking at the finish here. That might have been done on it. I don't know. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I don't know how that was done. Hard to say. I was thinking shaper initially, but it's got these nice lines in it, very evenly spaced there. So I don't know. Anyway, nice set of parallel clamps. These are pretty handy. I don't think I have any this big actually. I have some smaller ones, some Starretts. But Dan, thank you very much. That's cool. Let's do these next. Got a file handle. Okay, this is this drive-on one here, and we got a little file to go with it. So who doesn't like a brand new file? Okay, so you can't go wrong with stuff like that. So thank you very much. That's great. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a runny nose. Then we got this little guy here. So this is a Starrett level here, and I always call these Starrett 98s, okay, and they come in different sizes, down to little 4-inch and up to about 18 inches. This is a 6-inch or something, or 6 or 8-inch. Now, this one, Dan restored it a little bit, and so what he did was, I guess the vial was broken on this guy here, and they replaced it and actually potted in a new vial here, which is interesting. And I don't know what they used, maybe some plaster or something like that. But this is just a replacement vial that you can get at the hardware store, it looks like. Now the vials that normally go in these are ground. They're ground glass, and they have an internal kind of, not an hourglass shape, but they have a radius ground into them. So they're even a little 8-inch level like this is actually pretty sensitive. I think they call them 5-minute levels or 10-minute levels, you know, for 10 minutes of angle, typically. So now you can get the actual replacement vials for these Starrett 98s. McMaster sells them. You can get them from Starrett, and they don't give them away, but it'll bring any level like this back into precision, so or a precision instrument. And this is the newer style. It has the involute groove for sitting on sitting on round things like that. And it's not subject to damage like a V is, or as much damage, so kind of neat. So if you see one of these at the flea market and it doesn't have a vial, you can get the vials, you can repair these, and you can self-calibrate these, and I've done a couple of videos on that too. So Dan, thank you very much, that's great. And you know, who doesn't like a Starrett level, right? I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So thank you very much, my friend. Okay, so this next one is pretty interesting, and this comes to us from a viewer. His name is Jared Bias, and he works for a company called Electroformed. And there's their little thing. And I'll put a link up. You can look at their website. So Jared. He works for Electroformed and makes electroformed parts, which is this is a cross section of those parts, which is pretty neat. Anyway, he has to machine on these. He has to do some post machining on some of these things after the fact, and you can see some of these they're just extremely thin, so that could be tricky. So he was interested in that crystal bond that I showed machining the penny. And so I sent him a little sample so he could try it out. And he has to do some grinding and machining on little parts like this. So he's hoping that might help him out. So he sent me a little, you know, I don't know if this is called dumpster diving at Electroformed or what, but these are beautiful looking parts. So he sent me a little sample kit here, excuse me, and we'll just take a quick look at some of them. And this is a little bellows here, and these are made out of a nickel cobalt alloy. I think most of these are here, and what they do, the way it works, it's really cool. This is a mandrel actually to make a part right here, and so similar to this one, but larger, obviously. So what they do is they make this beautiful mandrel. This is all CNC machined and very close tolerances. And then what they do is they plate on top of this. So you know, the internal. So this is the internal size of the desired electroform, and so they plate on top of it. And then when they get to the that one just makes it just a pleasant little noise, doesn't it? When they get to the desired thickness, then this goes into a caustic bath, and this is etched out of the inside. And what it leaves is it leaves this material here. So obviously you couldn't, you know, this isn't a thread, so you can't just unscrew it, right? It's trapped inside there. So what they do is they basically dissolve that out of there. So this is the pattern, so to speak, and then this is the part that's produced from that. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of how it works. This is a very nice finish on this aluminum here from the machining, and I haven't touched it with a file, but I don't know, it might be 6061, I don't know, hard to say. Generally, your harder aluminums give you that real bright finish like that. So anyway, let's look at some of these things. They're pretty cool. You know, there's just a variety of sizes here of these things. This is a little piece of tubing that I don't want to bend it, but it looks like it's designed to be flexible, or potentially where they have to do a little jog or something like that. It's pretty stiff. Who knows? Maybe they something else goes on top of this. Who knows? I don't know what any of these are for. Some of them are radiation shields. Some are bellows. Some are medical parts, like this little guy here. This is pretty cool. You see this has got a little bent tip, right? Well, they make an internal mandrel that's got this shape, right, with a bend in it. Now, obviously, you can't get that out of there, but they can dissolve the aluminum out of the inside, leaving a sealed shape like that, and it's tapered and has a rounded end and all kinds of kooky stuff. So here's another one along those lines. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but down inside there, it's like a mirror finish down in there, but it has a little reentrant, little doohickey poking back into it here. So probably some kind of little medical, you know, these have the creepy medical look to them, you know. Maybe these are opposite sides of some you know, nut pinching pincer or something like that. Who knows, right? Some creepy medical procedure thing. So unknown. Now, let's see here. What do I want to? These are very cool. There's a bunch of small ones in here, but when I opened this, I was fascinated with the packaging here, actually. And so there you can see some of the itty bitty little ones, right, of these things. But what's interesting is the bottom of this is coated with a gel. So these little itty bitty parts, they don't go scooting around. They drop them in there, but I can remove them if I want, right? Okay, so it's got a sticky bottom like one of those mouse traps or something, right? But it's not so sticky that you can't remove the part very delicately. So, you know, when they close this up, you know, it can go through the mail or whatever, right? And these don't rattle around in any packaging, and they don't have to wrap them, I guess. So, like I said, I was fascinated with the packaging. It's pretty cool. And, you know, these little monkeys here, they could put they could put 100 of them in there easily. So, anyway, so this shows you the kind of the size range that they can work with there. Actually, this is a better example. Now, this probably takes a little while here to plate enough stuff on there to make it go, but all right. So the next one, I'm going to open these up. I'll move the camera a little bit, and then we'll open these guys up. These are Fresnel lenses in here, or forms for Fresnel lenses, and we'll take a look at those. All right, let's take a look at these guys here. Let's do this one first. So these are these little protective cases here. They have little anti-rattle things in them. But there's so this is some of their Electroformed material here, and you can see how that builds up. It's kind of weird. But there's the actual, let's see, it's got something over the top of it. I don't know if I want to peel that up or not. Anyway, there's the actual lens elements there, the Fresnel lens elements. So they're probably, well, maybe that's what they're producing here. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Oh, there we go. I'll open that up a little bit so you guys can get a look at that. Oh, is that a separate piece? I don't know. That may be. Yeah, I can see. It's actually cool because it's actually separating these overhead lights and the sunlight that's coming through the window there. It's separating them into their respective wavelengths. They're pretty cool, and so that's kind of neat. So that's something they can do at Electroformed too. They can make little small, thin electro-deposited lens elements. Now the other one's pretty cool. We're going to look at that. Let me, I'll just set that aside instead of fussing around with that case. So they're left-handed threads to lock them, and right-handed threads to open them. So, all right. Now, that's the back side there. You can see the. So this was some mandrel or whatever that they plated on top of, and that's the glop that goes over the side or whatever. But there, look at that guy. That's pretty cool. Now, this is probably a defective one or something like that, or else I wouldn't have it. And but hopefully that's. Gee, you can see yourself, huh? Can you guys see yourself in that? Anyway, that's kind of neat. So that's a very, very, very high surface finish there. Pretty impressive stuff. So I just love this kind of technology. Guys have developed ways of doing all this stuff. Actually, you know what? I didn't show the inside of this one here. This one's kind of neat. This is gold plated here, and then it also has this black coating on the inside to so no light reflects off of it or emits off of it. There's probably it shields some little sensor or something like that, and or light comes in this way and they don't want it reflecting and bouncing around in there. So anyway, probably 24 karat gold, probably only a couple of angstroms thick. Same here, same here. So these aren't brass plated, let's just put it that way, okay? Now, there's probably like 2 cents worth of gold on there, but it's still gold plating. Anyway, Jared, thank you very much. This is Geek Heaven here. This is pretty cool stuff. And guys, go check out Electroformed and give a bunch of hits on their website. And anyway, Jared, thank you very much. This is very cool. Okay, so this is the last thing I kind of wanted to show. I'm reading this book right now, and this came from my publisher, who is Industrial Press, for those of you guys that don't know. And they sent me a little kind of advanced notice that this book was coming out, and I said, oh wow, that looks like it might be interesting. And so I said, hey, send me a copy, I'd like to read it, and I'll do a little video review on it. So anyway, this will be coming up. I'm not going to review it now, but it's an interesting technical book. Now, I got a kick out of this, is this was in with it, so this is some other stuff that's available, and ta-da, my book's there too. They sent me a flyer on my own book, so I thought that was kind of funny. So anyway, I'll be reading this, and then we'll come back to it, and we'll talk about what's in it, and if it's how good it is. So we'll check it out. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so this last one here is this is from Tom Egan, and he's in Chandler, Arizona. And anyway, he's got some really nice handwriting there. Check that out. Sent me a nice little note with definitions. Hammer. A hammer is a tool that delivers a blow, a sudden impact to an object. Anyway, there's a bunch of, it's mallet, collection, addiction, doink, and Mr. Bozo. He's got, you got definitions for all that stuff. So, anyway, this is a kind of an interesting hammer here, and this head looks original here. The handle may not be original. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. But these are wrapped with iron here, iron or steel, and it looks like the heads have shrunk back a little bit. So they were ended up hitting the rim of the steel on this as opposed to the wood because it shrank back so much. So anyway, he's got it carefully strapped down to a. This actually fits a U.S. Postal priority mailbox perfectly, so it doesn't wiggle around. So Tom gets an A+ on packaging there, so that's pretty nice. So anyway, this is kind of neat. Maybe I'll bring you in a little closer, and you guys can get a look at this thing. It's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool hammer. So I don't know how usable it is, but it's certainly neat looking. I kind of like the shape. So let me bring it in closer. Okay, so there you can see it a little closer there, and you can see the iron bits here, or steel. I'm gonna have to spark test it to be sure, and I don't think I really want to do that. But so these kind of go against the whole thing here. The kind of the modern nylon ties there. So maybe we'll take it off of the wood, maybe not. We'll see. We'll just check it out. Anyway, Tom, thank you very much. That's a really nice gift. I appreciate you packing that up and sending it my way. So thank you.